Brampton was supposed to be the suburban dream: quiet streets, big houses, safe schools. So how did it become the city everyone in Canada suddenly has an opinion about? Headlines of home invasions, carjackings, shootings near shopping plazas, TikToks mocking Brampton drivers, and a culture clash that has split neighbours, city councils, and comment sections in half. What if I told you that both stories are true? Brampton is statistically one of the safer big regions in Canada, and at the same time, parts of the city are seeing violent crime jump over 50% in just a few years. Peel Police +1. Today, we're going inside Brampton, past the memes and the headlines, to see what really changed, why it feels like the city is at a breaking point, and what that means for the future of Canada itself. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might look at every nice Canadian suburb very differently. Chapter 1. The City. Canada loves to argue about. Brampton sits just northwest of Toronto, technically a commuter city, but in reality, it's its own world. With over 650,000 residents, it's larger than many Canadian provincial capitals, and it's still growing fast. Wikipedia. In the last few years, Brampton has exploded online. Search Brampton on YouTube or TikTok, and you'll see everything from driving compilations and Diwali fireworks to news clips about shootings, carjackings, and "Is Brampton safe?" debates. It's become a cultural symbol, not just a dot on the map. That reputation isn't random. Residents have watched stories about violent robberies, armed home invasions, and gang takedowns unfold in their own plazas and neighborhoods. Peel Regional Police launched major operations like Project Warlock and Project Ghost, targeting organized groups behind home invasions, carjackings, and robberies worth over $1 million in luxury vehicles and goods. Peel Police +2 City News, Toronto +2. At the same time, official statistics tell a more complicated story. If you zoom out and compare big city regions across Canada, Peel, which includes Brampton and Mississauga, still ranks among the safer large urban areas when you look at the National Crime Severity Index. Peel Police +1. So on paper, Brampton is relatively safe. But on the ground, residents near places like Trinity Common, certain townhouse complexes, and busy intersections say repeated shootings and violent incidents have shattered their sense of safety. One recent local report pointed to violent crime in Brampton surging by roughly 55% in recent years, with gun crime up around 130%. And extortion cases up an eye-catching 350%. Bramptonist.com. And that gap between statistics and lived experience is exactly why Brampton is so controversial. It's not just about numbers. It's about how quickly a city's identity can change and how unprepared people feel for that transformation. Chapter 2. How Brampton changed almost overnight. To understand today's tension, you need to see how dramatically Brampton's population has shifted in just one generation. In the 1990s, it was a more typical Canadian suburb with a majority white population and growing immigrant communities. Now, it's one of the most diverse cities in the entire country. Wikipedia +1. According to the 2021 census, roughly 80% of people in Brampton are part of a racialized group, and about 52% of residents are South Asian, mostly with roots in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and neighboring regions. The black community is over 13%, and there are significant Filipino, Latin American, and other communities as well. Statistics. Canada +2 hub.brampton.ca +2. Every year, An estimated 14,000 new residents moved to Brampton, many of them immigrants, choosing the city for its family networks, religious centres, and relatively affordable housing compared to Toronto. That means new languages, new businesses, new festivals, and new expectations about what normal life looks like. Drive down a Brampton street today and you'll see plazas lined with South Asian grocery stores, halal restaurants, Indo-Caribbean bakeries, and gold jewelry shops. You'll hear Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu, Tamil, English, and Caribbean dialects bouncing around in the same parking lot. For many people, that's the beauty of the city. But rapid change always comes with friction. Long-time residents who remember Brampton as mostly quiet farmland and low-density suburbs now feel like strangers in their own city. Newcomers, meanwhile, feel judged or stereotyped for simply living out their cultures in public, especially during big celebrations like Diwali and Vaisakhi, when fireworks, parades, and late-night gatherings become flashpoints. Layer on top of that a crushing housing crisis, rising rents, multi-family households sharing space, and intense traffic congestion. And you get a city where every stress point feels amplified, making it easy for people to blame the culture instead of the underlying systems. Chapter 3. Crime by the numbers. What's really going on? Let's talk hard data. Peel Regional Police's public stats show that crimes against persons, things like assault, robbery, threats, rose between 2022 and 2023. Assaults increased from about 6,300 to over 7,000 incidents. Robberies ticked up, and uttering threats climbed by around 15%. Peel Police. At the same time, homicides in the region actually went down from 30 to 23 cases in that period, a reminder that crime wave narratives can be messy and not all indicators move in the same direction. Peel Police. What has grabbed headlines, though, are the high-impact crimes: armed home invasions, carjackings, and organized luxury vehicle theft. Operations like Project Warlock and Project Ghost led to the arrest of about 18 individuals tied to at least 17 violent incidents, hundreds of charges, and recovered vehicles worth over $1.2 million. Peel Police +2 City News, Toronto +2. For the families who wake up to their garages broken into, for seniors who hear gunshots near a mall, or for workers who commute before dawn, those incidents matter far more than an abstract crime rate. They change behavior. People avoid certain intersections, stop walking at night, or add extra cameras and locks around their homes. Now, here's the twist. Despite those scary stories, Peel Region as a whole still scores as one of the safer big regions in Canada when compared using the Crime Severity Index. It sits below the national average and below many other metropolitan areas. Peel Police +1. So how do we reconcile a sense of crisis with data that says relatively safe? Part of the answer is that crime is not evenly spread. Certain pockets get hit repeatedly, while other areas stay quiet and suburban. And modern media magnifies extreme incidents, especially when there's video footage or a dramatic angle. Another part is the emotional impact of change. When a city is transforming quickly, demographically, economically, culturally, people are primed to perceive any bad news as proof that things are falling apart, even if the wider numbers are more controlled. That's exactly where Brampton is stuck right now. Chapter 4. How it feels to live there. Safety, stress, and street-level reality. When you ask residents what life in Brampton feels like today, The answers are often emotional instead of statistical. A 2023 Ipsos survey found that nearly half of residents felt their quality of life had worsened over the last 3 years, and only about 11% said it had improved. Top concerns: public safety, traffic, and housing affordability. The point of people talk about aggressive driving, endless congestion on Highway 410 and city arterials, and parking lots that feel like obstacle courses. In police surveys, Brampton respondents were more likely than residents elsewhere in Peel to see aggressive driving as a major problem. Peel Police. Add to that loud late-night gatherings, street racing, illegal fireworks and overcrowded housing in some subdivisions, and you get a sense of constant pressure. These things are not crimes on the same level as a home invasion, but they shape people's day-to-day sense of safety and respect. For newcomers, there is another side to the story. Many say Brampton is one of the few places in Canada where they feel fully seen, where they can attend a gurdwara, mosque, mandir, or church in their language, shop for familiar foods, and actually build wealth through businesses and property. For them, Brampton represents opportunity and community, not decline. You also have a large youth population, many of them children of immigrants navigating two worlds. They see pressure to succeed in school, pressure to help family finances, and pressure from social media flex culture. Some thrive in tech, logistics, and healthcare careers. Others get pulled into fast money schemes like auto theft or fraud rings. Neighborhood Facebook groups and WhatsApp chats become echo chambers. One group focuses on every porch theft and suspicious car. Another complains about racism and stereotyping. Everyone feels attacked. Few feel genuinely heard. This emotional climate is why the phrase culture clash sticks to Brampton. It's not just about festivals or flags. It's about stress, expectations, and what people think Canada is supposed to look and feel like, especially in the suburbs. If you're still with me, you're clearly someone who cares about truth, nuance, and what's really happening behind the headlines. Take a quick second right now to tap like, so YouTube knows this conversation matters. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into Canadian cities, culture, and the stories most channels oversimplify. And drop a comment. Brampton is improving, or Brampton is struggling. Which side do you see and why? Your engagement genuinely helps this kind of long-form, balanced content reach more people who are only getting the extreme versions of the story. All right, let's go even deeper into where the real clash is coming from. Chapter 5. Where the culture clash explodes. One of the main flashpoints in Brampton is how public space is used. Older suburbs were designed for quiet streets, driveways, and nuclear families. But today, many homes host multi-generational households, extended family gatherings, and rotating tenants trying to afford GTA-level housing. That means more cars on driveways and streets, more shoes at the door, more deliveries, more noise. For some long-time residents, this looks like overcrowding and rule-breaking. For many immigrant families, it's simply how you survive economically and stay connected socially. Then there are celebrations. Diwali, Eid, Vaisakhi, Christmas, and other holidays bring fireworks, street festivals, processions, and late-night noise. Depending on your perspective, that's either beautiful multicultural Canada or this isn't the quiet suburb I bought into. Business districts tell a similar story. Entire plazas that used to have chains and generic Canadian brands are now dominated by South Asian, Caribbean, and other culturally specific businesses. Wedding halls, banquet centers, clothing boutiques, sweet shops, and truck-related services. For some, it's empowering. For others, it fuels the feeling that my Canada is disappearing. Social media exaggerates those feelings. Viral clips of chaotic driving, loud fireworks, or crowded parties in Brampton often come stripped of context, and they rack up millions of views. People across Canada think they know the city based on 10-second clips. Residents then feel judged by strangers who've never set foot there. If we're honest, there's also a conversation about bias. It's easier for some people to blame immigrants or specific communities for complex problems like housing, traffic, or crime, even when those issues are actually rooted in policy decisions, underfunded infrastructure, and national economic trends. The danger is this: when every inconvenience or scary headline gets attached to a culture instead of a system, the city drifts from legitimate criticism to stereotyping, and that's where community trust begins to fracture. Chapter 6. Root causes: housing, money, and organized crime. Underneath the culture clash are very practical pressures. The Greater Toronto Area is in a deep housing crisis, and Brampton is no exception. Prices shot up over the last decade, forcing families to stretch mortgages, rent basements, or live with multiple generations under one roof. That density magnifies every noise and parking issue. Brampton also has a young population, with many residents working in trucking, logistics, warehouses, and service jobs that were essential during the pandemic, but often low margin and stressful. When the cost of living rises faster than wages, frustration and desperation grow, especially among youth. That's exactly the environment where organized crime finds recruits. Auto theft rings, fraud networks, and drug trafficking operations prey on young people who feel boxed in economically. High-end car theft has become a GTA-wide business, and Brampton's network of garages, trucking yards, and proximity to highways makes it a strategic target, not a uniquely bad city. City News, Toronto, +2 councillors Antos.ca +2. Meanwhile, policing has struggled to keep up with both expectations and scale. Peel Regional Police is now one of the largest municipal forces in Canada, serving over 1.6 million people in Brampton and Mississauga combined. That's an enormous, complex community to protect with finite resources. Peel Region. There are also trust issues. Some residents feel over-policed in minor issues and underprotected in serious ones. Others demand tougher crackdowns, more patrols, and harsher sentences. When the same incident can produce calls for both more policing and less policing, leadership is constantly walking a tightrope. And looming over all of this is the simple fact that rapid change is stressful for everyone. When your commute, your grocery bill, the language on street signs, and the headlines about your city all change in under a decade, people look for simple answers. And there are no simple answers here. Chapter 7. What Brampton is doing about it. Despite the chaos of the headlines, a lot is happening behind the scenes. The big police operations you hear about, Warlock, Ghost, and others, are examples of targeted efforts against organized crime groups behind clusters of home invasions and carjackings. Those investigations have led to multiple arrests, firearms seizures, and the recovery of stolen vehicles and goods. Peel Police +2 City News, Toronto +2. Municipally, Brampton has been investing in community safety initiatives, from youth programs and recreation to neighborhood watch networks and anti-hate campaigns. The city's own data dashboards on crime and community well-being are attempts to give residents a clearer picture instead of leaving them at the mercy of viral posts. GeoHub, Brampton.ca. There's also a growing number of community-based groups, gurdwaras, churches, mosques, cultural associations, working directly with police to address issues like domestic violence, youth gang recruitment, and mental health crises in culturally informed ways. On the policy side, Peel and other GTA regions have been pushing provincial and federal governments for more funding to tackle guns and gangs, more border security around stolen vehicles, and more support for affordable housing and transit. None of that fixes things overnight, but it shows that local leaders know the problems are bigger than just bad apples. Residents themselves are stepping up too. Town halls, petitions, and neighborhood meetings around hotspots like Trinity Common show that people are no longer willing to quietly tolerate repeat violence near their homes. They're demanding better lighting, more patrols, and real accountability. Bramptonist.com. The turning point for Brampton will likely depend on whether these efforts can outpace the pressures of population growth, social media narratives, and economic inequality. The fight isn't just against crime, it's for the identity of the city. Chapter 8. What Brampton teaches us about Canada's future. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Brampton isn't an outlier. It's a preview. Across Canada, suburbs are diversifying, housing is getting more expensive, and youth are living in a hyper-online world where local stories become national memes overnight. If we can't have an honest, nuanced conversation about a place like Brampton, we're not ready for what's coming to dozens of other cities. Brampton shows us how fast a city can transform, culturally, economically, and emotionally. It shows us how statistics can say, "You're safe," while residents feel like they're living in a pressure cooker. And it shows us how easy it is to blame those people, instead of asking tougher questions about policy, planning, and opportunity. The reality is this. Brampton is full of parents working double shifts, students trying to make it, small business owners betting everything on a strip mall shop, and long-time residents grieving the version of their city they grew up with. All of those stories are true at the same time. If we keep talking about Brampton only in jokes and stereotypes, we'll miss the chance to actually fix the problems: crime, congestion, unaffordable housing, and will deepen divisions that don't need to exist. If we choose to look deeper, Brampton becomes a case study in how to build a truly shared city in a rapidly changing country. So here's my challenge to you. If this video gave you a more balanced picture of Brampton than you usually see, don't let it end here. Hit like so this reaches more people than the usual outrage clips. Subscribe if you want more long-form breakdowns of Canadian cities, identity, and the stories nobody else wants to slow down and unpack. And in the comments, tell me, what did we get right about Brampton? What did we miss? Especially if you live there or have lived there, your perspective matters. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one city. It's about whether Canada can handle change without tearing itself apart, and whether we're willing to listen to the full story, not just the parts that fit the narrative we already believe.